You think that friend, the one who always cancels your plans, the one who says, maybe next time? Every single time, you think they're lazy, boring, maybe even a little rude. Science disagrees with you completely. And today, I want to show you something that might change the way you see those people forever. It might even change the way you see yourself. Because here's the truth nobody talks about. Some people are not avoiding life when they stay home. They are actually choosing it, consciously, carefully, and for very deep psychological reasons that most of us never bother to understand. So let's talk about it. Imagine two people. Same Friday night. One is getting dressed, calling friends, heading out to a loud restaurant, laughing, taking pictures, staying out until midnight. The other one is in their favorite corner of the couch, soft lighting, a warm drink, maybe a documentary playing quietly in the background. No notifications, no noise, just stillness. Now tell me honestly, which one sounds more exhausting to you? Your answer to that question says a lot about how your brain is wired. Psychology has studied this for decades, and what researchers found is surprisingly simple. Human beings do not all recharge the same way. Some people gain energy from being around others. The more people, the more noise, the more activity, the more alive they feel. These are your extroverts. Social interaction is literally fuel for them. But then there are others. And this is the part most people misunderstand. There are others whose nervous system works in the exact opposite direction. Social interaction, even when it's fun, even when they enjoy it, slowly drains something inside them. Like a phone battery that runs down no matter how good the charger is. And the only way to truly refill that battery is silent stillness. Home. This is not a personality flaw. This is not shyness. This is not fear. This is biology. There's a concept in psychology called optimal arousal theory. The idea is that every human nervous system has a threshold, a level of stimulation that feels just right. Go below it, and life feels boring and flat. Go above it, and everything feels overwhelming and exhausting. For some people, that threshold is high. They need excitement, crowds, constant input to feel normal. For others, that threshold is low. A busy street, a crowded room, too many conversations happening at once. It's not just uncomfortable. It's genuinely draining on a neurological level. And here's what's important. Neither threshold is wrong. Neither one is broken. They are just different operating systems running on the same human hardware. Now let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention: control. The outside world is unpredictable. You go to a party, and there's someone you weren't expecting. The music is louder than you thought. Someone asks you a question you don't know how to answer. The lights are too bright. The crowd is too thick. You can't leave easily because your ride isn't ready. Small things, but they stack up. At home, none of that exists. At home, you control the temperature. You control the sound. You control who is around you and for how long. You control when things start and when they end. For people with highly sensitive nervous systems, or for people who carry anxiety, this is not just comfort. This is safety. Real, psychological safety. And when someone feels safe, something remarkable happens. They think more clearly. They feel more like themselves. They stop performing. They stop managing. They just exist. And in that existence, some of the most powerful mental work happens. Research consistently shows that people who spend meaningful time in solitude tend to score higher in creativity. They process their emotions more deeply. They solve problems in ways that group settings simply don't allow. Because when you remove all the noise, the brain starts doing what it actually wants to do. It wanders. It connects ideas. It asks questions that have no easy answers. And sometimes it finds them. Think about every great thinker, every writer, every scientist, every artist you've ever admired. Most of their best work did not happen at a party. It happened alone, in quiet rooms, during long evenings where the rest of the world was asleep and their mind was finally free. Staying home is not doing nothing. Staying home is where depth lives. But here's where I want to slow down for a moment, because there's something important that needs to be said honestly. There is a difference, a real, significant difference, between choosing solitude and being trapped by fear. Some people stay home because it genuinely fills them, because their inner world is rich enough that they don't need constant external entertainment. Their peace is real. Their quiet is a choice. And they would not trade it for anything. But some people stay home because stepping outside feels too heavy, because social situations have hurt them before, because anxiety has slowly shrunk their world down to the size of an apartment, because trauma taught them that outside means danger and inside means survival. In the first case, home is a sanctuary. In the second case, home is a cage that looks like a sanctuary. And the question worth asking yourself honestly is, which one is yours? Do you stay home because it genuinely restores you? Because you wake up the next morning feeling rested and full and ready? Or do you stay home because the alternative feels impossible and you've stopped asking yourself why? There's no judgment in that question. Only an invitation to look honestly at yourself. Because healing is not about forcing yourself out. It's about understanding what's keeping you in. Now let me tell you something about the people who genuinely love their home life. They have rituals. Small ones. Sacred ones. The first cup of coffee in complete quiet. Before the world starts asking things of them. The exact corner of the couch that feels like it was made specifically for their body. The way afternoon light comes through a certain window at a certain hour and makes everything feel okay. The comfort shows they've watched 3 times because familiarity itself is soothing to a sensitive brain. The books that feel like old friends. The silence that sounds like rest. These are not small things. These are the architecture of a peaceful life. Psychologists call this low stimulation preference. And people who have it are not empty inside. Quite the opposite. Their inner world is so full, so active, so constantly running, that they simply do not need the outside world to entertain them. They bring their own entertainment, their own depth, their own company. And yet society constantly tells them something is wrong. We live in a culture that worships output, visibility, activity, being out there, being seen, saying yes to everything, filling every hour. And if you don't, if you choose quiet over crowd, if you turn down the invitation without guilt, people look at you like you're missing something. But what if you're not missing anything? What if you just have different priorities? What if a Saturday spent entirely alone, doing exactly what restores you, is not a wasted day but a deeply intentional one? What if choosing peace over performance is not a retreat from life, but a deeper understanding of what life actually means to you? Because here's the thing about noise. The world will always offer you more of it. More events, more invitations, more people, more places, more stimulation. It never runs out. It never stops. But your energy, your attention, your inner quiet, those are finite. And how you protect them says everything about how well you know yourself. The people who choose home are not hiding. They are not giving up. They are not failing some social test that the rest of the world passed. They are just people who figured out something early, or maybe after years of learning it the hard way. That piece is not something you find out there. It is something you build in here, inside yourself, inside your space, inside the small rituals that remind you who you actually are beneath all the noise. And if that sounds like you, if you read the group chat and feel relief when plans get cancelled, if the best part of a night out is coming home, if you feel most yourself in quiet rooms with soft lighting and no obligations, you are not broken. You are not boring. You are not behind. You are someone who chose depth over noise, and that is not something to apologize for.